So, tis what it
Hey,
is.
at least at least it's not somebody that loves to go outside and hates being stuck indoors.
Oh, she wants to go outside, but she's also deathly afraid of COVID. So,
I'm talking about the little kids.
oh man, fuck them kids. I mean,
I
not
had
like,
to. Yeah, I get you, but I was about to say that I had to babysit
not
this weekend.
literally, not literally, but figuratively speaking. So we're live with another episode of BS Busters, joined by.
Joy Eli Moonstar, thank you very much for joining us this April, the first one of the Miss Bust of this bullshit busters.
Yep, yep.
And a surprise look, we gotta look at Taskmaster for a new movie.
Yeah, I I didn't see the new trailer. I
I got I only got an image, which I posted up earlier.
Yeah, I don't have Disney Plus.
I would ask, are is that really Taskmaster or is that somebody trying to be be Wakanda for villains?
I don't know. I don't know. Like here's the thing. In the comics, Taskmaster looks very different from that. But I'm gonna give Marvel the benefit of the doubt because there's so many characters that we were like, how are they gonna get that to work in live action? That they did, like Captain America's costume and Thor and uh, Spider Man and Iron
Yeah,
Man. So
you're right.
you
It's just
know,
that if anything, I was remembering some of the memes that came out of some of those.
I mean, clearly this is not to the same budget level as you
The
know.
the movies,
Mm-hmm.
true. But then again, if anything, it does have something that gives you the Taskmaster feel, though
Not really, no.
that's tiny.
I mean, a little bit of the skull on the map, skull mask going on in the face area, in the mouth area, but
I said it's tiny.
yeah, it's very very limited. So, what have you been watching? I guess we'll do with what you've been watching first.
I've been trying to see some movies that I've been curious about. Um, tried to watch that movie that everybody says was not good. What was it? Raya and the Last Dragon. It's it's
Okay.
vanilla.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, and a documentary that had me chuckling a bit because of how devoted some people are, and makes me wonder if we'll ever get something like this again.
Oh, Britney Spears, free Britney.
Very funny. um, something that you probably would be weirded out by. It's called Under the Boardwalk.
uh, what about
Uh,
surfing? How's it going, Kenoshi?
Um, believe Ekanoshi. Believe it or not, it's about Monopoly.
Oh wow. Did it talk about how Monopoly was originally created by a lady who wanted to show how fucked up capitalism was?
Oh yes, it talked about that. It talked about how it was used for war, for hiding some real money in war,
Oh, yeah.
and how there was even a a whole Monopoly set that's worth millions.
Well, I mean, I have Mario Monopoly and Legend of Zelda Monopoly and
I'm
Star Wars
surprised you didn't
Monopoly.
have gamer. I'm surprised you don't have gamer Monopoly, which is supposed to be a lot kinder than the normal Monopoly.
No, no. The thing is, I like normal Monopoly. It's just I don't like playing it for a long time. Um. All right.
And if you played if you play with certain house rules, then it's lasting longer.
Well, if you play Monopoly the way it was meant to be played, it's supposed to be a miserable gaming experience.
Hmm. I say that it Monopoly is a game of tormenting d- and and what was it? Oh yeah. under-table tactics.
The only person who's supposed to be happy at the end of Monopoly is the banker. Because the whole point of the game is that by the end of the game, the banker is going to be the one holding the most money. Period.
Because he's holding all the money.
Well, because if you play it like it was originally meant to be played, you can take out loans from the banker. But the banker, you have to pay back those loans in a certain amount of time. Each revolution around the Monopoly board is basically a year of business. So, like, the banker can say, okay, I'll give you a 5-year loan. I'll give you a 1-year loan. And then you have to pay that back.
That's the thing.
And if you can't pay it back...
Yeah, that's the thing. Nobody I know of plays with loans.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. Monopoly is a... If you play it right, it's supposed to be a miserable experience.
Yep. like Monopoly...
That's the only rule that I think nobody that I know of plays with. The loan system.
That's how it was meant to be played. Monopoly is literally supposed to be... It was created by this lady who wanted to show how fucked up the banking, the capitalism is in America. So the whole point of it is that, like, if you have 4 players in Monopoly plus one person or another person, a 5th person is the banker. The whole point of the game is that 3 of those 4 people are going to go broke. They're going to continue to lose money until they're out of business. Then then what happens is that their properties can either get bought out by the person who's making all that money, or if that person can't afford to buy out their property, it goes to the bank. Then you have to pay the bank money as time goes on. So basically, the game ends when everyone goes bankrupt and the only person who has money is the bank. That like Monopoly is a terrible game.
Sorry, but nobody I know plays with the banker winning.
The only technically, well, I mean that's how Monopoly was originally supposed to be played. So technically speaking, the only person who can really win in Monopoly is the bank.
Oh God! And the thing, Monopoly is still one of the games that's following us throughout all the game generations.
Imagine people playing Monopoly with you.
And a word of warning here, I have Monopoly for the SNES.
I had it too, but like here's the thing about
imagine people playing Monopoly with real money.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun because the only person who gets paid who actually quote unquote wins is the bank. I'm
the banker in this game.
Here's the thing about Monopoly that makes it such a, here's why Monopoly has stood the test of time. Monopoly has a great mascot, Uncle Pennybags.
Yeah.
Uncle Pennybags makes Monopoly look fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like if you didn't have Uncle Pennybags in Monopoly wouldn't.
I was about to say that he's the reason why there's a little bit of sugar in a whole lot of lemons.
Oh no, Uncle Pennybags is a piece of shit, but he's a great mascot. He's a great
sugar in the whole lot of lemons as far as
he's not even sweet. He's just a great mascot.
You want all the purple areas because that's your only chance of winning. Because people have to.
Even then, you don't really win. The best way I've discovered to try and win at Monopoly for me is if you're lucky enough to get the high rent areas early on in the game, and then every time as you get the high rent areas, you basically then you buy the mass transit areas like the train stations. So then you basically have got like if people want to move to the other side, like go someplace or stop on the high rent areas, you can take even more of their money. Now, if you play by classic rules, once they can't afford to pay it, they can approach the bank for a loan, but they have to pay back that loan in a certain amount of time. If they don't have enough property, the bank can take out a loan based on their property. But if they can't pay that back, they lose that property to the bank. Then you got to pay out. Then if you land on that property, it goes to the bank. or the bank can sell it directly for a cash deposit to a player who has the money for it. So, I mean, the whole point of the game is for either the bank or one of the players to have a total monopoly of all the property on the board. Hence, Monopoly. But it's a miserable gaming experience. It is not a fun game at all. But anyway, before we go any further, Kenoshi, introduce yourself.
It's Kenoshi Abominito. Sorry I was late. I was reading.
It's okay.
I was track of time.
What's the topic?
What have you been watching?
Oh, I was still reading through Berserk. Bugata's about to go after Nosferatu Zod.
Well, I don't quite remember that one, but I'm pretty sure it's going to probably be pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah. He's the guy that essentially prophesies what's going to happen. Like, he basically near the at the end of the fight, before he takes off, he warns Guts, like, yeah, you better not be hanging around this Griffith guy. He's since he has the egg of the king, it's gonna be terrible for you if you stay by his side.
What the? Ooh.
What else have you been watching?
Let's see. Well, I haven't really been watching much of anything. I need to get back into My Hero Academia. I'm not episode 10. I haven't watched it for a couple of weeks.
All right.
Start getting back into that. What have you guys been watching?
Well,
I talked about what I was watching.
yeah, Joel watched Raya and the Last Dragon, and
Under the Boardwalk of the documentary of Monopoly.
yeah, Monopoly.
I saw the monster. Some of the
Godzilla vs.
monsters.
Kong.
Yeah, Godzilla vs. Kong. I saw the Godzilla 2014. I actually thought the Godzilla vs. 2014 was pretty good. I like Kong. That was a pretty good movie. King of Monsters. I got a lot of.
There were too many other monsters. That movie should have just had Godzilla, Rodan, Mothra, and King Ghidorah. I mean, King Ghidorah. That's it.
Yeah, they should have also the whole plot with the human characters. I thought was kind of dumb.
Yeah, it was too much. It was like, okay,
It was
look.
just like it was 2 hours long. It was way too long.
Well, I mean, Godzilla vs. Kong was a little under 2 hours long, but it gave you. First of all, I mean, here's the thing: you have in order. Godzilla King of the Monsters is what you end a series on, or it's the second to last film you end a series on. You do not introduce all these new monsters just from anywhere, just for no goddamn reason because it looks cool, and that's what they did in that film, and that's where it kind of fell apart. But Godzilla vs. King Kong, I give it 2 thumbs up. That was a good movie.
Yeah, Godzilla. That was a much funner movie too than King of Monsters, especially when Godzilla and King Kong team up and take out Mechagodzilla. That was pretty cool.
Well, I mean, like, I kind of knew when I saw the trailer and they showed hints of Mechagodzilla. I'm like, yeah, they're gonna bring in Mechagodzilla at the end, and they're gonna have to team up to take on Mechagodzilla. But before that, there were 3 fights between King Kong and Godzilla. And King Kong lost 2 of them. So for all you fucking fanboys, yeah, King Kong, he's America's monster. Okay. But Gojira wasn't playing that shit. Kind of funny. I actually liked it. But yeah, it was a pretty good film. I enjoyed it. You must have HBO Max now.
No, I was watching it. Well, I was watching with a group of people.
Oh, they must have HBO Max. Yeah, HBO Max is pretty good. I would not recommend it just for the,
single movie.
Yeah, just for one movie, but for all the other shit you get, like the curated Cartoon Network stuff and all of the Batman and DC animated stuff, and I mean the Turner Classic Movies, which make you feel old because there's shit that I grew up watching that was hot in the 80s and the early 90s. They're like, this is a Turner Classic movie now. I'm like, fucking hell, what? um, but other than that, yeah, it's HBO Max is pretty good. This is not endorsed nor sponsored by HBO Max, but it is a pretty good streaming service. I ain't bullshitting. But yeah, let's see. What else have I been watching? I've been binging Scrubs, which I used to watch the shit out of it when I was in college.
Yeah.
And now I'm watching it again. Scrubs is actually a pretty good series because you can actually, like, a good series is one that you can go back to years later and still laugh your ass off while watching it. Scrubs is one of those. So anyway, uh, what else we got going on? Here's some breaking news. Cliff Bleszinski is working on some new stuff.
Why do I have a feeling Cliff just is about to start some more trouble?
Well, I mean, the thing is that even though people like to talk shit about Cliff Bleszinski, he does have some chops. He has worked on some really popular and genre-defining franchises. So even though he's an ass, he has some cash to be an ass.
I was about to say, he may have cash to be an A, but he doesn't need to be one.
No, but he does have some cash to do it. You know, it's like Peter Molyneux. People like to talk shit about Peter Molyneux.
You know he earned some of those, right?
Yeah, but he also helped to bring in some really good games to video gaming, like the God Simulator, with Populous and Black and White, stuff like that. The problem with Peter Molyneux is that he always over promises and under delivers. Like, if he didn't over promise and just said, we're working on a game, here's the concept, we don't know how far we can take it, we hope we can take it to a certain level where it's going to be fucking awesome or whatever, people wouldn't say anything. But when you're like, this game is going to redefine the whole meaning of what a game is, like, when you make some promises like that, you know,
it kind of makes it clear that you guys are stretching for the moon and only kissing space.
You know, like, if you are a game developer, you say, okay, we're going to create a game that's going to create a digitized human being who's going to pop out of your gaming console and turn into a living, breathing person that you can tell to do whatever you want them to. Anything. And I do mean anything. They'll do it perfectly and with no problems.
Oh boy.
And you promise that, and then it's just a stick figure on a screen. It's like you overpromised and underdelivered. And that's kind of the problem with Molyneux. But like I said, he has helped to create a lot of really good games. So, you know, he has a little bit of a cash to be a little bit of an ass. You know.
Yeah.
Now, if you're some jackass
yeah.
just talking shit and you haven't done anything to prove that you can back up what you're saying, then I have a problem.
I was gonna say that even if you do have the power to back up what you're saying, if you're in the red with your mouth, you're likely not gonna get a popular opinion.
Yeah, but I mean, I would say that Molyneux has more successes than failures. Like, Cliff Bleszinski has more successes than failures under his belt as a developer. The failures hurt, but it's not like, oh my god, this can never be talked about or anything like that. You get what I'm saying? But anyway, we can move on to what everyone's been playing after a while in the next segment. So what have you guys been playing?
I've been keeping up with dailies, and I've been doing some doing some Bravely Default 2 and Paper Mario.
I'm playing Octopath Traveler, Crash 4, and Kingdom Hearts 3, and I started playing a little bit of Metro 2033, 20 something. The first Metro
the game that people keep on saying is like Fallout, but really it's nothing like Fallout whatsoever, aside from being a post-apocalyptic future.
Nah, it's not Fallout. It's you play the game mainly for its atmosphere.
Yeah.
Or so than its
and
gameplay.
If you like,
that's why I recommend.
No, go ahead.
That's why I recommend people cheat. That's why I recommend people cheat in that game because there's just some of the things about the gameplay I don't really like.
Well, you feel fragile. Your character feels fragile. Like you can basically use, even if you cheat and you give yourself the best weapons, the enemies in that game are fucking bullet sponges. Like you will shoot them a cajillion times, and even then, if it's scripted, they still won't go down. It's like, what the? I'm supposed to be running away from this enemy, aren't
I? I really wanted to like the game, because I was really interested in the world and stories, but I didn't like the whole gas mask thing. I didn't.
Bullets.
I thought the whole
bullets is your currency.
Bullets is money. Oh, that was kind of interesting, but that also can kind of get annoying too. So.
Especially when you need those bullets to fight off the mutated creatures.
I mean, if you're gonna do something like that, have more ways of being able to attack things.
Melee attacks?
Guns, I guess.
But the enemies are overpowered as fuck in that game.
Yeah.
So it's like, really, and the whole point of that game is just to run away from everything and hide and use guns only when you absolutely have to.
Yeah.
Why do I have a feeling that's a horror movie game?
I mean, it is a horror game in a way, but...
Mm-hmm. Basically, yeah, it's a horror game.
So, yeah, that's what I've been playing.
What have you been playing, Joel? I mean, actually, no, you already told us. I guess it's my turn.
I was about to say, you forgot already.
Force of shitty habit. I've been playing a game called Divided Reigns. And it's from the same studio that did Einlanzer, which is like a kind of a mid-tier, minor hit indie JRPG made with one of the RPG makers. It's actually pretty good. They claim in their thing that it's like 70 hours long. I don't know if that's true, but I've put maybe 5 hours into it. It's actually pretty good. But yeah, it's pretty good. But I've also been playing Octopath Traveler again on PC with tons and tons of cheats. The game is so much better when you cheat. I'm not gonna lie. It's good without cheating, but not having to spend a whole bunch of time grinding meaningless fights just for job points so you can level up your job class when you switch a character to another job class because you want to make them more effective. So much easier. And grinding for money. I mean, the only character who actually really once you loot enough chests in the game, the only time you really need money is for Tressa's abilities, and that's it. Because for her, she literally weaponizes money. It's great. She may be the most powerful character in the game.
If I remember right, she's kind of like Yokozuna. I'm trying to get the character name right. Yokozuna from Final Fantasy X that uses money in order to do certain attacks.
sort of. I would put her more like Seltzer from Final Fantasy VI, who spends money in order to use his slot machine, which is his special attacks.
Ooh. I'm sorry. I have bad memories of using that move.
But she can also do summons. Like, she can summon veteran soldiers who do like
Hefty damage.
hefty damage. Like that's her most powerful summon. And these 4 soldiers come in if you boost it up to level 4 and summon them. They'll come in and they'll do 4 really powerful sword attacks. If you do that on enemies whose defense has been broken, it basically does guaranteed critical damage with each hit. It's ridiculous. Tressa's my MVP. She's my best girl in this game right now.
Yeah, I'm surprised that you're not able to call her gold digger.
Oh no, Tressa's not a gold digger.
I'm sorry. It's just that it's that with how much you're using money for power, it kind of is what you gotta do in order to be sure you have that power. Dig for gold.
Not really. Gold diggers don't want to earn their own money, but they want to use other people's money. Tressa's a merchant. She's all about spending money to make money. So buy low, sell high. She's actually pretty badass. The only character that I think has a higher damage output than Tressa is maybe Ulberic if you give him the Battle Master secondary job class.
As in warrior on warrior, right?
Yeah, if you give him that secondary job class, he basically gets the ability to equip like every single melee weapon in the game. And I think the ultimate special attack for that job class, the like ultimate special attack, I think, is where they use all of their weapons on a single enemy, and each weapon has a different special affliction that it puts on the enemy. Basically, it's like the super ultimate melee job class in the game, and it's like Ulberic was built for it. So I am kind of an Ulberic fan. But anyway, I mean, we're at the halfway point of the podcast, and I'm a little rusty. So, do you guys want to get into some of these news stories?
Yeah.
Take your time and get back into the groove. After all, we got time.
It's going to be pretty easy, actually, because some of these are kind of,
older stuff.
I mean, they're just kind of like, okay, so here's a big news of the week. Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga has been delayed indefinitely.
And to me, I have to wonder, that's a little bit of a mixed bag, since usually Legos are not bad.
Actually, I think I know why it's delayed indefinitely. They have to create new code in order to make Rey, in order to give Rey all of her powers, because she's a better pilot than Han Solo. She's a better lightsaber duelist than anybody else who ever picked up a lightsaber. She's she's better at pod racing than young Anakin Skywalker. She has better Dark Force powers than Palpatine. Basically, she's the best character ever created, with no weaknesses whatsoever. She's just all powerful.
I'm sorry. I'm trying not to stick my face into my hand any deeper.
I'm being facetious, by the way.
Yeah, but you could guess why.
So
Hearing all this about effing Rey the Robber Skywalker. Ugh.
I'm gonna keep it real. Rey Skywalker is not a bad character if she actually had weaknesses that she had to overcome and get better. Instead,
Oh, you know she's a Mary Peepin' Sue.
well, I mean, like, the thing is like, I don't have anything against female characters or male characters or gay characters or people of color. I don't care about
Yeah,
diversity casting. I really don't. As a matter of
that's
fact,
the thing.
I prefer diversity casting. But if you're going to write a character who is black or female, just because they're black or female, they damn sure better be well written and have great character arcs. And the
Yeah,
problem with Rey Skywalker is that her character arc is non fucking existent.
as I
She
was about to say,
literally,
she's she's the newest definition of Mary Sue.
she's the best at everything. The only other character that I've seen that's worse written than Rey Skywalker is Michael Burnham from Star Trek Discovery, who is the best at everything. She's better at crunching logic than a Vulcan. She's a better fighter than a Klingon. She knows more than her captain, who's been the captain of a ship for like, who's been a captain in the Starfleet for like 20, 30 years. But she just knows she's the best. And that's just, I mean, like, here's the thing. I don't even care about the whole Mary Sue aspect. It's just lazy storytelling.
I say it. I say it's kind of both, because you have a Mary Sue that basically is a perfect being of every quality imaginable, and yet has no flaws, and yet when the quote unquote story turns her off for a moment, like when she's out cold, everybody else gets to shine for a little bit, and that's barely before she gets back up, steals the spotlight, and basically creates so many deep and wormholes of story logic that you're written into a corner that has to be written at the 11th hour for the last episode.
Actually, but they didn't write that at the last minute. They literally just pulled Emperor Palpatine out of their ass. Basically, the Rise of Skywalker is literally Return of the Jedi, just amped up to the nth degree.
I was saying that they basically pulled them out of their rear end at the last minute with that, but
It's like, it was Palpatine all along. Really? This old motherfucker again? Jesus.
yeah.
I mean, well, look, okay. In the prequel trilogy, it made sense. In the original trilogy, it also made sense. Can we please have a Star Wars series that doesn't have Palpatine in it? Can we do something different? Can we come up with a different villain? Please. 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 Okay? If I have to see another motherfucker, old ass motherfucker in a robe shoot force lightning at someone, I'm gonna lose my mind. But anyway, that's my opinion. Um, keeping it moving, keeping it moving. Other little bit of gaming news. Well, this is a rumor, so take it with a handful of salt. But there's a rumor that Nintendo is coming out with a new dock for the Switch.
Possible.
Not this beep again.
I'm just saying what they're saying. All right. Now, to be honest with you, I think a new dock would make a hell of a lot more sense than
A brand new Switch Pro.
than a brand new Switch. It would make a hell of a lot more sense because if they can create a new dock and sell it for like between $70 to $110, that increases the, like, when the Switch is docked, that makes it a little bit more competitive.
I was gonna say the dock's already near 70.
Okay, let's say 100 even. If they can create a new dock that basically maybe has a CPU in it that increases,
Upscaled.
well, it just increases the processing power of the system when it's docked, um, just to make it a little bit more competitive to put some games on the system. I think that would be quite helpful to those people who give a shit about things like that. Now, would I buy it? Fuck no, because just on principle. But I'm pretty sure there are people who want to play games that are more commiserate to the and I'm not saying this. I'm saying this is the way some people think. The big boy consoles. Um, I'm using air quotes when I say that. You know,
Thank you.
then they don't feel bad about it, and they can like play games that aren't struggling to fucking do things. Uh, you know, I'm just saying.
I'm trying not to groan because you're basically trying to sell something that is the equivalent of what is the Nintendo 64 DD for a new system.
Well, it's a peripheral. And people will buy peripherals if a game comes with it. For example, if there is a game that people really want to have, like if Nintendo says, in order for you to truly enjoy the Breath of the Wild 2, you have to play it in the new dock, people will do it.
Um,
If they're like, look, you can play it on our old shit, and it'll run okay.
I was gonna say this is like
But
the Rumble Pack
if you want the
that
true
was in the
experience,
N64.
if you want that real shit, you got to play it with the new dock. They might do that. They probably won't call it dock. They'll probably call it some shit like an enhancement unit or some shit. I don't know. But that's what I think. I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on it? Yes, no, maybe so.
I'm just gonna say this right now. You graphic beeps are gonna be buying this day one. I bet you
Well, they
that
probably
they'll
will.
do it. But as for me, I'll give this the middle finger.
I mean, it's cheaper than buying a brand new console, and if you wanna, like, if you're Switch only, and you actually want to play some games that aren't struggling to do shit on the Switch, because there's some first party games right now on the Switch that are struggling to run certain aspects of the game. So maybe, just maybe, for those people who don't want, because really, I mean, this isn't struggling graphically. This is just like processing, doing shit that the game's trying to do, it's struggling to do. So, this might help offload some of that load. Now, of course, if you're playing the game in handheld mode most of the time anyway, it doesn't matter because the system is compromising its performance because it's not connected to a power source. It doesn't get that extra cooling and stuff that it gets in the dock. So, um, I mean, that's my opinion. You guys have any thoughts on it before we move on to the next topic?
I said mine already.
Kadoshi?
Uh, yeah, I agree. The Switch dock makes a lot more sense than creating a whole new Switch. You know?
Yeah.
For those people who actually care about graphics and frame rate stuff, they're more than likely built a computer.
They either built a computer or they bought a PS5 or an Xbox Series X, Xbox One Series X, the premium model or whatever. People who give a fuck about graphics already bought their graphical thing. If you own a Switch and you're bitching about how the system is, there's certain games on the system that it struggles to run well, I mean, I don't know what to say to you, but that's the price you pay for having a hybrid console. Like a hybrid is never going to be as good as something that's dedicated to that one thing. A hybrid isn't going to have the horsepower of a hybrid vehicle is not going to have the horsepower of a dedicated cylinder vehicle. It's not going to have the energy efficiency of a dedicated electric vehicle. That's just the way it is. So tough titties. I don't know. Some good news. LeVar Burton wants to be the host of Jeopardy. And I have nothing to say about that except this. I'd be totally okay with LeVar Burton being the host of the permanent host of Jeopardy. But don't take my word for it.
Oh, I was about to say that would have been too classic right there.
For those I
I
think
agree with you.
I think he would be the perfect host, considering that a whole bunch of us who are in our 30s grew up watching LeVar Burton and Reading Rainbow pass on pass on knowledge and read stories to us. I mean, and how do you think most people learn things? By reading books. So who better to have a show that's all about, like, the only way you can do
Knowledge.
well on Jeopardy is by knowing shit. Um, and I think like he would be the perfect host for it. And why the fuck not? Although I'm seeing some people bitch about why should a black person take over the mantle for Jeopardy, and I'm like, why not?
Yeah, I mean, come on. Hosting jobs is not exclusively, pardon the phrasing, black or white.
Shit, if Wayne Brady can be the new head of the Gong Show, then damn it, LeVar Burton, aka Geordie LaForge, aka Kunta Kinte from Roots, can be the next host of Jeopardy. Um, Other little bit of news. Apparently Ray Fisher's NDA finally ran out, and he was able to tell everyone what the terrible things that Joss Whedon did to him on the set. And it turns out it really wasn't that bad. It was just Joss Whedon being kind of like a temperamental dick, as a lot of directors are in film. Um, he also apparently threatened Gal Gadot's career, saying that if she didn't say a certain line, he would make her look stupid in the film. Which I'm pretty sure she probably didn't say, because she was later in Wonder Woman 1984, which made her look like a rapist. And a stupid rapist at that. So apparently Joss Whedon's revenge came out either way. Sorry, that's too much. Also, apparently the sales haven't come out, but Balan Wonderworld flopped.
Oh yeah, that game. I think people had to. Who is it? Yuji Naka? What's the director?
I've been seeing
The
commercials for
Sonic the
that.
Hedgehog guy.
Sonic the Hedgehog guy. I think people had to confess that he might not actually be all that great of a director.
I mean, I'm gonna keep it real. I don't think I don't think that Balan Wonderworld, whatever the fuck it's called. I don't think.
Balan Wonderland.
Yeah, whatever. I don't feel that's a bad game. I just think that.
The concept is not all there.
I don't think it really. I don't think that the concept of what the game is and why you should buy it really came out, because the whole game, the game's big premise, like, you don't know what the premise of the game is. The big selling point of the whole shit is, hey, guess what, guys? Yuji Naka's working on this game. And I don't think that's a valid selling point for something.
It didn't like the game. But from what I've seen of it, it looks like it's all over the place. It doesn't really look like it knows what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, I don't know.
I don't know. I just think a lot of these directors that go out on their own and make their own stuff. It's just like they have people have to remember they had a team of people to say to make Sonic, or to make Mega Man, or to make a lot of these games. It's like there's a team of people. There was people there to hold them accountable. It wasn't just the director that made the game. I guess
Yeah, and that's basically what I would rather see, but that's my own personal opinion. I know some people will get angry with that. That being said, Anyone else have any other news stories they want to hear about before we wrap things up? Any questions? Anything they want to bring up?
I wish people would just. I just wish people would just let E3 go. Just let her go.
Let it die.
Just let her go. Yeah.
Let it die and stop propping it up. It's like Weekend at Bernie's at this point. It's like it's dead. Why are you sticking your hand up the back of its jacket and moving it around like it's alive? It's dead. Let it go.
Yeah.
In better news, they're re-releasing or I should say, yeah, they're re-releasing old versions of Transformers figures. So if you're new to Transformers, Hasbro is re-releasing the old Predacon Maximal figures, and they look fucking awesome. So if you grew up watching that show and you're like, man, my parents never bought me that shit. Well, now that you're older and have money, you can buy it now.
So a couple of days ago, it was Kamen Rider's 50th anniversary. Remember Beetleborgs? Was that what they were trying to ape?
No, Kamen Rider.
Is that what they were aping?
Kamen Rider. Kamen Rider.
Kamen Rider.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, the Kamen Rider outfits look kind of like bugs. They kind of have like a bug look to them. So
yeah, Kamen Rider in America was called Masked Rider in America, and it was like all that shit was like when Power Rangers took off. Every other company was trying to get in on the tokusatsu, like getting Japanese tokusatsu, filming some new shit, and then using the footage to do something else with it. And Beetleborgs, if I remember correctly, was it wasn't Kamen Rider. It was another season of a tokusatsu show. I forget which one it was, but Masked Rider was using Kamen Rider, which is its own thing.
So what's the difference between Kamen Rider and
Power Rangers?
Super Sentai? Yeah,
well, it's Super Sentai is the entire genre. It's like saying Super Sentai is like science fiction, and then there's different types of science fiction, like different franchises. Like there's like hard science fiction where it's rooted in actual science that we know about. Then there's like high science fiction, which is like it's based. The technology is an extrapolation, many times extrapolation of shit that we know about now. Then there is low science fiction, which is basically like just slightly more advanced than what we have now. You know, like RoboCop, when it came out, it was like low science fiction because you could have conceivably seen, 20, 30 years in the future, people doing that type of shit on people. If technology if morality had allowed people to do that, social mores of the time. So like basically, Kamen Rider, Sentai, the Sentai shit. This Super Sentai is its own subgenre. Is its own like
genre.
Well, I mean, it's an overarching genre, but then there's like different types of Super Sentai. There's the Team Super Sentai, which is like Power Rangers. And there's like different types of Power Rangers in Japan. There's like Dai Ranger and Guy Ranger and Zoo Ranger. Zoo Ranger is the one that we had here in America that was transformed into the Power Rangers we had here, with Lisa, Tommy. Yeah, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Then there's Kamen Rider, which basically is a big series in Japan. But the cool thing about Kamen Rider is that it's always just one guy, so they didn't have to spend as much money on shit. Then you have Big Bad Beetleborgs, which actually, Big Bad Beetleborgs and VR Troopers are actually the same show.
Which is kind of odd.
They're the same show in Japan. Here in America, they took the bits and pieces of that show and they cut it in half, and one half became Big Bad Beetleborgs, and the other half became VR Troopers. VR Troopers got kind of fucking dark. VR Troopers got really dark.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, god damn, this dude is. But they had a cool theme song though. We are VR.
We are VR Troopers.
I was a big fan of.
Reality. Oh God! Thank you for getting that song stuck on my head, Red Fox.
Had to do
I
it.
was a big fan of, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I think I started jumping off. I Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I paid attention to Zeo Rangers, and I kind of paid attention to Power Rangers in space, and that's kind of where I just lost interest and found other stuff to care about. It pertains to media. What's your guys' history with stuff like that?
Power Rangers. I was never all that into Power Rangers as a kid because like that prime demographic for a kid. For me, I was like before Power Rangers, I was TMNT. So, however, when I was in college and I'd have free time, I would watch the Disney Channel and ABC Family, and they would show tons of Power Rangers. So basically, what I would do to unwind, I would watch reruns of Power Rangers and catch up on shit that I wasn't able to see as a kid because I was into TMNT and Batman the Animated Series and Justice League and Teen Titan. Like, I was into that shit.
Yeah.
So I was never really into Power Rangers. Like, I mean, I like some of the shit some of the American Power Rangers have done. Like, sometimes the American version of Power Rangers is so much better than the Japanese version of Power Rangers.
I was gonna say that I know that America and Japan have their own flavors of Power Rangers. It's just that how they do it is kind of where you have to watch and see where they different.
Well, I mean, okay, I'll give an example. You know how in I think it was not Power Rangers SPD, the one where they're like they're like getting criminals who escaped from like one dimension to another. And in the Japanese show, it's silly and it's stupid. The Americans actually wrote a really the one that had Doggy Kruger in it. Like Doggy Kruger's in both ones.
Emergency.
But yeah, Doggy Kruger in the American one looks way more badass than Doggy Kruger in the Japanese one. Which is he looks cute in the Japanese one. In the American one, Doggy Kruger looks like he's getting your ass. It's like, goddamn, he looks like he could fuck somebody up. But my point is this. Like, the cool thing about about that one is that the Red Ranger for once is a black guy. And he's a criminal. He's a legit criminal, and they recruit him into a program, and they make him the Red Ranger. He's the leader of the team, and
he gets reformed.
He is well. He's not really reformed. It's a struggle for him, but he's the fucking leader of the team, and his like second in command is angry because his father was the Red Ranger. He wants to be the Red Ranger. Like, there's like all this shit going on. It's like, wow, this is really interesting. And then you watch the Japanese show, and it's just this stupid bullshit. And I'm like,
as I said, there's differences between America flavors and Japan flavors.
The Japanese show, like the Americans one up the Japanese show. And then there's times where the Japanese show one ups American shows. Like in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, they had the one where Rita Repulsa took a lipstick monster out of Kelly's purse. And turned it into a monster. But no, it wasn't a lipstick monster. It was a vibrator in the Japanese version.
I said, wasn't that supposed to be a vibrator?
It was. And it uses its special powers on the female rangers. They're like, oh no! Like on the TV show, it's like, oh no, we have indigestion. In the Japanese show, look, they're like, look, listen, give me 5 minutes, and then you can stop the monster. Matter of fact, the Yellow Ranger right here, she can go for a little bit longer. Give her 30. Matter of fact, you boys go take the day off. We'll work it out. So, I mean, sometimes the Japanese show is better than the American show. Sometimes the American show is better than the Japanese show.
It varies. But, oh, God, does it vary.
Like, I would say that the American version of Mystic, the Mystic Power Rangers, the ones where they had magic, was way better than the Japanese one. The Japanese one was trash. Yeah, it was. It was complete trash.
I just have to say this that um since I'm an American only Power Rangers fan, I have to say that some of those Ranger shows they were pretty sweet, but oh god, did I have to suffer through some of the trash.
Well, I mean, like Mighty Morphin was
Yeah.
good the first season. The second season, where they turned into when they got the Ninja Zords, was also pretty cool. Um,
I
the
was gonna talk about the more recent ones, which is the Mega Force one.
Yeah,
Uh,
I haven't been watching those. I was like, I'm good. So, okay, we've got less than 5 minutes left until the end of the cast. Anything you guys want to bring up before we wrap things up? Anything.
oh god. Um, one one thing, just out of curiosity.
Go ahead.
Um, any movies that are coming out this month that you would recommend keeping an eye on?
Yes, Without Remorse with Michael B. Jordan, who hits the trifecta of dudes you don't fuck with in an action movie. He is a decorated, highly trained military operative with a who's young. His wife is young, and she's pregnant, and she's murdered by nefarious criminals. So what do you think? And they almost kill him. Keyword: almost kill him. Put him in a coma. What do you think happens when he wakes up?
He's ready to smack some rear ends.
And before I get further, he plays a guy who later changes his name into the leader of the Rainbow Six Special Forces team in Tom Clancy. For those of you who don't know, the Rainbow Six and Tom Clancy are they're basically the SEAL Team Six. These are the same motherfucker. This is the fictional version of the motherfuckers who raided Bin Laden's compound and got his ass. So basically, Michael B. Jordan's gonna be a motherfucker you do not fuck with, killing people who should have known that he was a motherfucker they shouldn't have fucked with. And of course, because this is an espionage film, this is an espionage, double cross. Of course, someone in the government is going to be in on it who probably set the whole thing up, and they're probably going to die horrifically too. So, yeah, man, I'm looking forward to that. It comes out April 30th. And it's coming out on Amazon Prime. So for those of you who have Amazon Prime, and you want to see,
Yeah.
for the ladies out there who want to see Michael B. Jordan looking badass as fuck, murdering the shit out of people who did not know who they were fucking with. There you go, folks. On Netflix, there's also Concrete Cowboy, which has Idris Elba being a concrete cow boy.
It's not too interested in what's coming out right now.
Yeah. I plan on watching it, but the thing that keeps me from getting into it is just like I would have preferred, from all the people I've heard from it, they're like, well, I would have rather have seen it as a like they would have rather seen it as just a straight up documentary about black cowboys versus it being, a fucking movie built around these characters. So, whatever. Anyway, that's all I gotta say. Anything else anyone wants to go with before we wrap things up?
I think we got it pretty good. Unless you care to go for one call of a hole of the week.
No. I'll do unpopular opinion. My unpopular opinion is this. I recently had like a little Twitter back and forth with Shadow Fox Infinite, where I basically. Well, the thing is that he said that he was basically going after the lie that some developers say where they can't put a game on the Switch because it's not powerful enough. And I said, yeah, but we've all heard that lie before. That we've belabored that point. The question really shouldn't be, you know, if it's capable. It's like, should it be put on that system? Like, is the port, is the like, are the is the technic is the downgrade worth the port? Like, is it like the people playing that game on the lowest common denominator hardware, is what they're losing worth, like, is enough of the essence of what that game is going to be on that port that it's not going to be offensive to the people playing it? And that's the big question you got to ask yourself. And so, you know, that's it. I personally, I don't think everything needs to be ported to everything. Like, sometimes you just got to buy the shit that thing's on.
Why? Who was saying that the Switch wasn't powerful enough to run this?
Well, he was just using general. He was just going after the general excuse that some developers give, which is, well, we can't put this on this hardware because it's difficult. And the example he used was someone putting Doom on an oscilloscope. And I'm like, but why the fuck would you want to play Doom on an oscilloscope?
I mean, the thing is, it's I don't know why they just can't be honest and be like, look, we don't find it a financial or resource viable platform to put our game on.
Or maybe just be really honest and say they don't want to fucking do it.
Or they don't want to do it.
Yeah. Be like Square. I mean, if Square Enix put on their big boy pants and just said, look, we don't want to fucking put Kingdom Hearts on a Nintendo console. Okay? We don't want to do it. Stop fucking asking us. Go do something else.
Yeah, I mean, they put it on PC because, again, Epic probably paid them a decent amount of money for exclusive rights, and not to mention that games do run Unreal Engine, so that was also probably a reason.
Yeah,
but they simply just don't want to put it on the Switch. I think people just need to face the reality. They don't want to do it. They just don't want to do it for whatever reason.
Yeah, I agree. They just don't want to do it. And for these gamers to keep on whining about it, well, how come look, they said they don't want to do it. You're like a dude asking a chick, she said, I'm never going to sleep with you. It's never going to happen. If you were the last man on planet Earth, I'd just take care of myself. And you're like, well, no, she says she's not going to do it. Shut the fuck up and go find somebody else. That's basically, you know, like, I'm tired of hearing, at this point, I'm not even mad at Square Enix. I'm mad at the people who keep on begging for the shit. Because they said they don't want to do it. Let them go do something. Let them go work on some other shit.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest with you, I would rather just have, I would rather just have, I would rather have what Square Enix has been doing, making second party and third party exclusives for the system that later go to other places that really take advantage of the hardware or do something unique or interesting. I don't give a shit about playing ports of old shit that I can get on other systems. Like, I'm not paying $60 to play Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2.
Yeah.
On the Epic Store, because they can take those prices and shove them up their ass. But but I would rather. I mean, I have a PS4. I can go and buy the Kingdom Hearts collection for like $30 for the PS4 and play all those games. Well, know why I haven't? Because I don't like Kingdom Hearts.
Well, the nice thing was I ended up buying Kingdom Hearts 3 for the PC, $60. It went on sale like right after I bought it.
Oh.
I bet you felt like slapping yourself.
Here's the funny thing. They actually gave me back the money. They actually gave me back the portion of the money. So I ended up paying the sales price. Like,
That's nice.
what? Who does that? Like,
Well, that you
doesn't
know what that
happen
means.
very often.
That means Epic really wants you to come back.
Yeah, that is. They don't. Yeah, you don't see companies do that.
They have got to be bleeding money.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. But
I mean, they have got to be legitimately bleeding money like nobody's business. It's ridiculous how much money they got to be bleeding. But anyway,
they'll just make up for it by charging everybody more for using their Unreal Engine.
I mean, but they already get like basically if you use Unreal Engine after a certain amount of sales, they get a cut of every sale. Like I think it's like 10-15%. So if you're selling a game made with Unreal Engine for $60 a pop, they get shit. How much? They get like 5 or 6. No. They get like $5.50. If it's no, they get like $6.66, $6.67. So I mean, that's basically, in theory, how they're supposed to get their money. But you know, that's not. There's some other shit going on there. Because Epic is giving away too many games, or maybe they have a clause in their maybe they have a clause in their friggin' what's it called? In their development kit where it's like, if you use our development kit, we can basically put your game on our game store at a prorated rate. So maybe that's how they're not losing a lot of money. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I think the word you're looking for is EULA. That's use license agreement, probably. Who knows?
No. When you use a company's development kit, there's also like a contract that they're signing between them and the people. It's not a licensing agreement. It's literally like, this is a business thing, and
okay.
Now I don't have, but that's the only way I could think of they're actually getting these games without having to lose a fuck ton of money. That's the only way I can think that they're not losing a fuck ton of money, because it's very expensive. Microsoft learned that shit the hard way when they kept on buying all those exclusives. But maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, anything you guys want to pimp out before we wrap things up?
I think we're all right.
All right. Okay, here's some breaking news. E3 is coming back. Microsoft and Nintendo will be there digitally, but not Sony.
Wait, Sony's the only one that said no.
Yeah, Sony. Okay, I'm gonna get a little bit graphic, but I don't care. It's my cast. E3 is like a chick who was in the back room having fun with a whole bunch of dudes, and everyone left. And now the dudes who normally hit her around this time of year walked in there, and Microsoft and Nintendo walked in, and they were like, "Well, I guess if we hose her down a little bit, we could do something." And Sony was like, "Nah, I'm good." I'm good. No, but really, you're normally the first dude who drops in there. Nah, I'm good this time. I'm good. I'm just gonna go home and watch a movie.
I was about to say, Sony already has their hands full after buying Evo. So, oh boy, that's a different can of worms.
I got some sad shit for people. Celebrity zookeeper Jack Hanna, the guy who told us how to keep a bear from eating your ass, literally has been diagnosed with dementia.
Oh boy.
So sad. Jack
He's
Hanna.
not a crocodile.
He was like the American version of Crocodile Hunter, except he wasn't crazy enough to get killed by a fucking wild animal. So that makes him better in my opinion because he's still alive. Jack Hanna, our hearts go out to your family. With that being said, leaving on that downer of a thing. Sorry. Let's end it out. Anything? Are you sure there's nothing you guys want to pimp out before we wrap things up? Nothing.
Considering Saturdays are probably shot for you for a while.
Yeah. Saturdays are shut to hell for me because I am living out of my mother's guest room until she gets to the point where she can look after herself, and that's gonna be at least a month and a half. So the only time I can really do casts now for the foreseeable month is for all of April, I believe, is Wednesdays. So, fortunately, BS Busters has been curtailed to once a week, Wednesdays. But hey,
Maybe you could do some commentary while you're there.
nah, can't get too loud because my mom has crazy ass neighbors.
I'm talking about maybe a video.
Commentary video? Maybe. I don't know. I'll see how I feel. Anyway, that's the end of the podcast. Rate, comment, share, subscribe. Peace. Good night.
And hype responsibility, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right. Hype responsibly. Good night.
Good night.